Good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Friday. So glad that we made it to the end of the week. So glad that we get a chance to spend more time together talking about data science and all things related. That's what we do here. So thank you so much for joining me. For those of you that are new, welcome. You're not the only one. We're consistently getting new people joining the stream. So don't be shy about introducing yourself. We start off with what I call as my global roll call, where I invite you to let us know your city, state, province, country, and that way you can kind of be involved in the conversation. Nice, easy way for you to introduce yourself and also for us to keep the chat professional, right? After that, sometimes I give an opening note where we can talk about, where I share something that's kind of just different things on my mind. Sometimes I do one, sometimes I don't. It just depends. And then after that, we take questions. I'm here for whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever's on your mind, whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm here. I love that essentially all of you, the chat, set the agenda. Never know what we're going to talk about. So that's fun. I think it'll be interesting and we'll go from there. Every once in a while, I do prepare a couple of things ahead of time, and I actually have not one, but two things prepared. We can talk about Sora, and then we're also going to talk about the rodeo. So those are two very diverse things to talk about, but I have some different things I want to share with you. So it depends on where the conversation takes us. We'll see where we kind of insert that discussion and go from there. All right, we'll just see how the discussion feels as we go along and see where it takes us. Okay? So please go ahead and start filling up my chat with your city, state, province, country. Always love to see where people are from. Always nice to see the global community that we have here. I need to put up one more chat message on my Instagram, but give me just a second here, guys. I'm going to invite our Instagram people to introduce themselves also. Oh, let me get that. All right. All right. So, lots of potential things that we could discuss today. Give me just a second here. All right. Lots of potential things for us to talk about today. My intent today was to talk about the rodeo. There's been some different pieces of content that I've been thinking about that I wanted to bring to you guys. Something a little bit different, something a little bit, just not what we usually do, right? But I wanted to kind of help illustrate how I, as an experienced data scientist, kind of see the world and think about different ways that data science could be done, right? Because I think those opportunities are all around you. So I found one in the world of rodeo, and I thought I'd share with you guys my thought process on how, I see opportunities there, the different types of things that could be done there, so on and so forth. But having said all of that, last night, I finally got my account enabled for Sora, which, for those of you that don't know, Sora is the Gen AI tool for video by OpenAI. So you have OpenAI as a generative AI company, and then you have ChatGPT, which is their text generation, and then you have Sora, which is their video generation. And I was just given access to that last night. So I started doing some poking around, just kind of my own initial examinations. I found some things that are interesting, some things that are maybe good, some things that maybe are not so good. So I thought we'd also go over that. So lots of opportunities to look at stuff there also. So really today we can go in any number of directions. So many different things to explore. And we'll just see where we end up, right? We'll see where we end up in terms of the discussion. I think that we're going to start seeing a little bit more discussion on Sora as more people get online with it, as more people are granted access. Apparently, OpenAI had some issues with enabling their accounts from ChatGPT over into Sora. Their new account creation was closed for a while, and because I think they were just kind of overwhelmed with requests. In addition to that, ChatGPT also just went live with some of their integrations they're doing with Siri and some of the other Apple products. So it's been a big week for OpenAI in terms of the number of things that they decided to take on, right? So we'll see what you guys think of the tool. Maybe some of you will also want to get enabled with the tool. I don't know. But that's kind of the discussion that I wanted to have today. So again, if you're joining us late, please let me know your city, state, province, country, and we'll go from there. All right, so I'm only seeing one chat right now, and it's for my good friend Yassine. Yassine from, hello sir, Yassine from Tangier, Morocco. How are you, Yassine? Hope you're doing well. Hope your studies are going well out there in Tangier. For some reason, you're the only person from Morocco here right now. There's usually a whole group, so we'll see if more people join up. Michael, our good friend Michael from Nigeria says, Michael, hello, Sir Dennis. Hey, Michael, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is going good out there. Michael, I'm trying to remember. I think you work in the construction field, if I remember right? Or was it natural resources? But Michael, I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Hope that you have good plans for the weekend. And by the way, if anybody is looking for weekend plans, don't forget that on Sundays, I run my tutorials. I stream every day, Thursday through Monday. But on Sundays, we have a special tutorial class where I teach an extended series. And this Sunday, we're going to continue our series. Actually, we're going to end our series on building a data science project from the ground up. We've successfully reached the end of that series. So this Sunday, we're going to talk about the final things we do to... We're going to talk about the final things we do to tie things up. And we're going to wrap up that series. So really excited that we get to wrap up our second full series. So now we've done 2 series and 3 different tutorials because we took a little break in between series to focus on on a couple of tutorials. So really looking forward to that. So Sunday, 1500 GMT, if you want to join in, I think it's going to be a great session. All right. Okay, guys. So anybody else who wants to introduce themselves, this is a good time for it. Let us know your city, state, province, country. Again, if it's your first time, don't be shy. There's plenty of first timers that join us, basically all the time. All right. Okay, so let me switch over to my classroom view. And what you're seeing up on the screen is Sora. It's the homepage, if you will, for Sora, right? This is what the Sora homepage looks like. And you can see that they have a variety of different little sample videos that they're showing. And then down, I'm already logged into my account. So once you're logged in, you get this little prompt window. It's kind of hard to see, and I'm kind of disappointed in the interface, not a very friendly interface, where you're invited to put in a prompt, and you can also put in the different settings that you would like for your video. So here we can choose the different settings, and then we click on enter. It puts the generation into a queue, and it sits there, and in the background, it processes the videos, right? So let me start by showing you 2 different videos that I've already created. So let's start with this one. So first of all, you can see that this is it's a vertical video, right? A 6x19. Here is the prompt that I had put. And why is that not playing? I thought this played automatically, no? I guess I can just click on it. There we go. And that is the video that Sora created based on my prompt of a man who's admiring his silver play button award from YouTube. So, a couple things you'll notice here. One, the video is only 5 seconds long. That's a limitation of my account. I have the ChatGPT Plus account, $20 a month. 5 seconds is your maximum video size or video time. Aditya, welcome. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Aditya says they're from Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, India. Nice, welcome. Aditya, right now we are looking at Sora, Aditya, so you're welcome to follow along, okay? So 5 seconds is the maximum video that you can do. And I believe that this is at 720p. 1080p is not an option if you're on the basic account. You'll also notice that the video is not perfect. There is a clothing change for the, the male actor, which wasn't really requested by me. And also, if you look at the letters closely, the letters are nonsensical. They don't make any sense. They're actually gibberish. So the text generation side of those videos, and even images, right? Because DALL-E is not so great at images, at text and images either. Isn't so wonderful, right? And then also, I kind of have a little bit of a problem with the pricing that OpenAI is using for these tools. I think that the pricing is a little bit misleading. Let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to go to the Discord where I posted some information last night. Give me just a second here, guys. I want to bring this Discord window down. Give me just a second. I want to check something very quickly. Sorry guys, I was checking some messages from my moderators. Okay, so here's what I posted last night. And these are the initial account creation options you get when you first create your Sora account. And it says you can have up to 50 videos. But what they really mean is that you get 1,000 credits. And the amount of credits used varies by the videos that you request. So it's a little bit misleading that way. Because the video that I just showed you, this video right here, took up 60 credits. So that means that you could only get about 16 videos like this for your $20 monthly subscription. Is that worth it? Maybe, maybe not, right? You'll notice, and there was a lot of press around how ChatGPT has this new $200 option. But that also only gets you 10,000 credits, which basically means you're only going to be able to get, at a maximum, 160 videos, just like this one. Now, at the higher levels, you can produce 20-second videos, but then you're just using up your credits a lot faster because the 20-second videos require 240 credits, right? At 720p. If you go up to 1080p, then you're using a lot more credits. I don't know exactly how many more because I don't have that level of an account, right? So Aditya asks, what happens if you provide the same prompt again? Is the video different or the same? It's different, Aditya. It's different. Now, we're jumping a little bit ahead here, but they do have what's known as multiple version generation, where you can give it the same prompt and you can say, show me 3 or 4 different versions that you come up with. So Aditya, that would solve that question that you're having. But you're also burning up more credits, right? So the credits go quick. The other problem that you'll notice is that even with the $200 a month option, the maximum you can do is 1080p for 20 seconds. That's not great, right? I mean, 1080p is okay, but but that's probably not, like your super professional grade, right? And 20 seconds is good. I mean, you can get some YouTube shorts out of that, but it's not fantastic, right? It's not like, it's not even the length of a television commercial, right? So what do you guys think about that? Give me some feedback in the chat if you'd like, but I'm not excited about that. For $200 a month, I thought you'd get a lot more than that. And remember, it's not 500 videos, it's up to 500 videos, right? So I think that you're going to use those credits very, very quickly. Because again, going back to the example, you can only get 160 5-second 780p videos. Or 760p, whatever it is, I forget. 720p, excuse me, 720p, it's up at the top there, right? That's a lot of money for just for that quality and that short of a video, right? Hey Denelson, good morning. How are you? Glad to have you here, Denelson. Leo, our moderator over on YouTube is here. Leo says good morning, everyone. Hey Leo, good morning to you too. So what do you guys think? Give me some feedback. Are you seeing the value in that? I'm kind of having trouble seeing the value. For $200, I only get up to 160 of these. And any variation on these would require more money, right? Or, more credits. All right, so let's talk about a second one I did. So the other feature I wanted to try was where they offer you to upload your own picture to start, and then they animate it for you. So up on the screen right now is the picture that I started with. It's a picture of my dog one day when we were out hiking. This is in Arizona. Right? And there's another limitation here. You can't upload pictures of humans. It can only be non-human. So that's why I use my dog. I wanted to start off with a picture of me, but they said, nope, you can't use humans, only non-humans. So a car, a pet, something else, right? A bird, ocean waves. But this is my dog, and that's the picture I started with. So let me click on it, and this is the animation it came up with. So again, 5 seconds, 720p, I'm using 60 credits. So that's kind of a lot, right? 60 credits of your 1,000 credits, it's a lot. But that's what ChatGPT came up with, starting off from a still picture. Now, I talked about this a little bit back and forth with Leo. We were going back and forth a little bit in the Discord, right? Now, I know my dog, so to me, these moves look unnatural for my dog, but only I would know that, right? So if I take that away, if I put that aside, put that bias aside, they do a pretty good job of one, recognizing it's a dog, and two, animating it like a dog, right? Like the animation is doing like dog things, right? The tail wag looks pretty good, it does all right. Now, one of the things I was surprised by is that the background is pretty still. That's my background, not Sora's background. So that's kind of funny because I put that in my prompt. I said, put him in a desert environment. He likes going hiking in the desert. Well, it didn't change anything. It just kept the background. So essentially that part of the prompt didn't really work, right? Hey, Kaiser, how are you? Kaiser87 over on Instagram. Let us know where you're from, okay? We always ask people to introduce themselves, so let us know your city, state, province, country, okay? Okay, so Yassine, responding to my question about if you're excited about this, Yassine says, I'm definitely not, especially for this quality of the video, talking about the fact that it's not coherent with no consistent content. Yeah. I think Yassine was referring to the previous video, right? And also, guys, I should also note, to Yassine's point, there's also no audio, okay? You still have to come up with your own audio. But as far as I know, I could not find a way to add audio. So you would have to take this video into your own editing software, and put in other assets, other audio, whatever you'd like. But let me know what you guys think about this one. Does the dog look natural to you? I'm a little disappointed that the background didn't change because it kind of just animated the dog, but nothing else. But if you look at the movements, it is natural. I mean, look how he moves his paws down here, right? That's pretty natural for a dog to do. I also mentioned that he likes sniffing. So it did go ahead and animate the dog, my dog as sniffing. So what do you guys think? Denelson says, the tail somewhat looks like it has movement, but the tail also extends. They make it grow to give it that tail wag. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean, Denelson. Yeah, you're right, it does grow. You know what? I didn't notice that before. Thank you. But you're right, it does grow. It's almost like unnaturally long at a stage, right? From where it starts, it is quite a bit of growth. So you're right about that, Denelson. I didn't notice that on my first pass. I think Leo also had pointed out previously that his harness is not correct, right? There's a gap in the harness here. Now that's also because you didn't see that in the original picture, right? If we go back to the original picture, this is the picture that I sent. That piece of the harness is missing, right? It's missing in the picture. So Sora just kind of takes that and says, well, there must be no harness there, right? It doesn't understand that this piece of the harness connects to the other piece of the harness, right? Is that a mistake? Maybe. I think you could argue that, right? It's not smart enough to realize that a harness would have to be connected to the dog, right? And again, I'm trying to take myself out of the equation because I can look at this and say, well, my dog doesn't move like that. That's not my dog in real life. But the movements are not terrible. Right now, I'm spending a lot of time watching the paws, right? Because if you look at the way they did the paws, it takes reasonable steps, right? Dogs usually go in slower steps. They take smaller steps when they're sniffing, when they're stopped, right? So it's actually done a pretty good job of recognizing that and animating my dog accordingly. I'm also watching the ears move, right? The ear movement, looks pretty natural, right? Maybe the ears are a little bigger than what they are in real life, but again, only I would know that, right? Other people wouldn't know that. But you know, this is not a bad animation. I'm probably happier with the dog animation than I am with the animation that made up on its own, right? All right, so I'm happy to come back to these animations if you guys want to talk about these. But let's go back and let's talk about the generation. Because the generation, I think, is, you know, kind of ties back to the usage and the payments, right? Because Yassine says, hey, for this quality of video, I'm not interested. Okay. All right, so this is the prompt window, essentially. I think they did a terrible UI job of this to have it like this at the bottom. But this is where the prompt window is. And if you click on, if you hover over, and you know, this is a little bit, you know, a little bit shady on their part. You can only see how many credits you're using by hovering over this question mark. You know, why don't they have it displayed? Because they know it's expensive, right? So if you click here, it tells you how many credits you're going to use with these settings. So this is the cheapest usage of credits that I could find. It would be a square aspect ratio, right? So in other words, a box at 480p. You can't do it at 720, and it's for 5 seconds. Or actually, I guess you can go up to 10 seconds with that one. But 10 seconds puts you back up to using 40 credits, right? So every time you change the settings, it adjusts the credits. But this time you can at least go to 10 seconds in the square aspect ratio. I don't think you could do that in the other one. So we'll check. So square aspect ratio, 480p, which is, you know, not so great. 10 seconds. Well, let's even go back to, yeah, let's keep it at 10 seconds. 10 seconds, you're using up 40 credits. 40 credits of your 1,000 credits. So what is that? That's 25. So you could do 25 pictures, and then that's it. Your credits would be done. Or excuse me, 25 videos, and your credits would be done. At the $20 level, right? What do you guys think? Seems expensive. Because, you know, 480p isn't that great, right? I mean, 480p is not even great for social media, right? So what do you guys think? I'm not excited about that. If we go to a 9:16, which is what we saw previously, right? Like this dog up here, that's 9:16, right? That's a common format for most of your mobile apps, right? Most mobile apps display in 9:16. 480p. Oh, and it looks like you can go to 10 seconds. That was not enabled yesterday. Very interesting. So that means they changed it. Well, maybe it's 480p. If I go to 720, okay. That's why I couldn't get it. Because yesterday I was only doing work in 720. Because to me, 720 is like the bare minimum, right? At least for stuff that I want to put out, you know, because social media and this is my job, right? So at 720p, you can only put out 5 seconds. So that's going to cost you the 60 credits, right? The 60 credits is what I was using yesterday. So basically this picture here, this one or the YouTube picture one, you know, of this guy here, right? This is going to cost you 60 credits. And then also you can do multiple versions if you wanted to. So I think it was Aditya that was asking about the variations. So this is where you can do the additional variations. You can't do them at 720p because apparently that takes too long. You'll also notice that when you choose 720p, it'll tell you that 720p is 4 times slower and 1080p is 8 times slower. So in other words, you're using more of their processing power, right? Because after all, this is a cloud service, right? So they're discouraging you from doing that because, you know, it takes up resources on their end, right? So if we go back to 480p for 5 seconds, we should be, okay, see, so now we can ask for different variations, right? we can say, I want to do all this, but then show me 2 instances of this. And that's going to cost you 50 credits. But then you're at 480p. Is anybody excited about 480p? You know, let me know in the chat. Like, does anybody even use 480p? I don't know anybody that does that, right? So, I mean, even like your most basic flip phone nowadays, you know, is better than 480p, right? So that pricing kind of stinks, right? 16:9, strangely, well, I shouldn't say strangely enough. 16:9 doesn't have any variations in the pricing, right? It's basically the same because I think it's basically the same number of pixels, right? 16:9, 9:16, it's the same number of pixels that they have to push out or generate, right? So you'll notice that there's no price changes. And then but then you have the same limitations, right? If you want to go to 720p, you can only go to 5 seconds and you can only get 1 variation. Right? That's going to be 60 credits. So a maximum of 16 videos just like this on your $20 a month plan, or the 1,000 credits for $20. Anybody excited about that? So it would be interesting to try what their lowest offering is. So start filling up my chat with some prompts. We'll choose the best prompt and we'll use some credits here. Give me a prompt for square aspect ratio, 480p, 10 seconds, and we're going to ask for 2 variations. And that's going to blow up 80 of my credits. Oh, I'm giving you guys 80 of my credits. That's a lot. That's a lot when you only have 1,000 credits, right? So give me your prompts, guys. Put them in the chat. Square aspect, 480p. So I'm expecting a lot of noise, right? It's not going to be like a clear picture. 10 seconds. And we're going to ask for 2 variants. Leo, great observation. I think we have a powerful message here. High quality video generation for commercial purposes is not viable. Yeah, absolutely, Leo. I think that's a fair conclusion to draw, right? But having said that, Leo, it also costs a lot of money to produce commercial videos, right? Like it costs a lot to make a movie, to make a commercial, to make a promo video, you know, like pro grade, right? So maybe it's worth it to some people, right? Along your lines, Leo, I would also say that maybe this is all just a proof of concept in the sense of, is anybody happy with this 5-second video to start saying, oh, well, this means you can make an entire movie, right? Well, maybe you can't, right? Maybe the technology is only there for the short stuff, not for the longer form, right? But then again, maybe that's what you meant, Leo, by not commercially viable, right? But I mean, if I'm a studio person, like a Hollywood person, am I excited about this 5-second video enough to say, oh yeah, they can make a 2-hour movie? A 5-second video is still pretty far from a 2-hour movie, right? So let me know what you think, Leo, because maybe it's not commercial viable for, people like you and I. But if you're a studio, a production company who regularly spends millions of dollars to produce a 30-second commercial, then maybe it is viable. I don't know, right? All right, guys, so start filling up my chat with prompts. We're going to try a square prompt, 480p, 2 variations, and see what Sora comes up with, right? Let me know, guys. What prompt do you guys want to see? I'm donating my credits for the cause here, guys. These credits are near and dear to my heart, apparently. Oh, and one more thing you should notice. Kind of, you know, this is the shady sociopath stuff I don't like, right? Unused credits do not roll over to the next billing cycle. So it's use it or lose it, right? You got to use your credits or sucks to be you. That's not very friendly, right? That's not a friendly policy, right? So, what do you guys think? And by the way, I realize that some of you in the chat or some of you watching the replay may not have a ChatGPT Plus account. You know, I have it because, you know, it's my business and I can write it off and things like that. But this is only if you have $20 a month, which I realize, you know, is a challenge in some parts of the world, right? Not everybody has a $20 subscription, you know, across the US or across the world, right? So this is kind of out of reach for some people in that way. And then $200 a month, well, I mean, there's very few subscriptions on the planet that are $200 a month, you know, for a monthly service like this, right? Like an online monthly service. I mean, even your top Netflix subscription or your top YouTube TV is what? Like YouTube TV is what, $82? I think they just changed it to in the US, right? I know it might be different in other countries. But $200 a month? That's kind of breaking new ground on the pricing strategy, right? So come on, guys, give me some prompts. Give me some prompts in the chat. What do you want to see us generate on Sora? Because I want to see what their lowest level of abilities does, right? So we're going to go with, what did we say? Square aspect, 480p, 10 seconds long, 2 variations. Give me some prompts, guys. What do you think? You may not have access to Sora, so this is your opportunity, right? This is your opportunity by proxy, I guess you could say. Leo says it would be cool if you could fine-tune the model for your brand, maybe. Look at the one you did. Imagine trying to promote your 100K button. It lacks on details. Yeah, you're right about that, Leo. You're right about that. So if you guys have seen my Instagram, I had posted a picture of myself holding the silver play button, right? And my face next to it. And that's the picture I had intended to use. So Leo, I'm not sure if you came before or after that, but I mentioned how one of the limits is that you can't upload people. You can only upload, you know, dogs, cars, you know, nature, things like that. Right? So I hear you. I wanted to use something more personal to me, but that's one of the limitations for the tool right now. Okay, so Denelson says, novice marathon runner finishes their first marathon and they celebrate the finish line wearing a blue and black tracksuit. Their friends run to them to celebrate the accomplishment with them. Ooh, I like it. Denelson, you're our winner. I like the prompt. Okay, guys, let me double check this. Square, 480p, 10 seconds, 2 versions, 80 credits. 80 credits, guys. That's like 10% of my credits. All right. Their first marathon and they celebrate at the finish line while wearing a blue and black tracksuit. Okay, I like the tracksuit. I mean, right now it's tracksuit season for sure. So tracksuit, their friends run to them to celebrate the accomplished with them. Okay. All right. I think I got the whole prompt. So now we go ahead and click on the send button, you know, the create video button. We click on that. And what it does, it's not instant. It puts it into a queue. So you can see up here in the upper right hand corner, this little activity blog or, you know, timer. It's basically kind of, it kind of sends it off to processing, right? You know, sends it off to the mothership for all of the magical Sora GPUs, and then it'll just kind of create it whenever it's done, right? So we're already at 68%. The nice thing about this test is that 480p takes the shortest amount of time, right? And they tell you that. 720 is 4 times lower, 1080 is 8 times slower. So quite a difference. But it's 480p, right? So the first one's almost done. Okay, it created them side by side. Okay, cool. So let's click on this one. Oh, wow. Denelson, what do you think? And why don't we go to the second one? Leo is laughing. So I'm going to assume Leo loves this. All right, let's go to the second one. So this is our second one, right? Uh-oh. The second one forgot the friends. Denelson says, I'm having a laugh on my end. Leo says it's hilarious. It's not good, right? It's definitely not good. What do you guys think? Let me know. Feedback in the chat. Yeah, so let's take these in order, yeah? Lots to unpack here, guys. So I'll give you guys what I notice, and then you guys can tell me. But obviously the hair looks unnatural, right? It's weird. Well, one, it's super long, and two, it's weird how they're in sync. Like that, right? Like that's kind of disturbing how they're in sync. Two, the friends kind of appear out of nowhere, right? Like it doesn't make sense for how the friends just kind of show up, right? And then another thing I'm noticing is the foot strike on this one, this runner on the left. There's moments where it looks unnatural, right? Like the legs kind of appear and reappear, right? Denelson says, I like the tracksuit for the second one, but it does forget the friends. But is that a tracksuit though? I don't think these are tracksuits, even in the second one. I mean, this is more of like a cycling suit, if anything, right? But like to me, a tracksuit has long legs or is pants, right? But on this one, even if you put in the pants, you know, the top is still not a tracksuit. The top is like a cycling suit, right? And there's no friends. Oh, and there's Minish. It's not the finish line, guys. It's the Minish line. Did you guys see that? I just caught that. It's the Minish line. And there's no friends, right? Unless they're counting the crowd as friends. Leo says, I wonder if with less motion it performs better. Maybe. But isn't motion kind of like the point, right? Like video is motion, right? Leo, like a static scene. Okay, well, let me know what you have in mind there, Leo. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the prompt, you know, but let me know what you have in mind. But it's a video generation tool. It's supposed to move, right? Denelson says, OMG. Now, I will say in this second one, the foot striking, it's still a little funny. It's better towards the end. But at the beginning, if you watch the green shoes are kind of weird. It has its weird points, right? At the beginning of the loop. What do you guys think? I mean, in the first one, the hair is hilarious, right? Wait, wrong. If we go to the first one, the hair is hilarious on this one. Right? And then the friends just kind of appear out of nowhere. I mean, this guy, if you watch this guy in the orange vest, he kind of just kind of melts through the barriers, right? All of a sudden, he just appears. So that's a little weird, right? What do you guys think? Any other feedback? What do you guys spot? I mean, Denelson, this is your prompt, right? You'd be paying for this, right? I mean, this costs money, right? They're not doing this for free. What do you think? Are you happy? Are you not happy? I mean, this is a service that you're paying for, right? What do you guys think? Last call for opinions here. Anybody else? What else are you guys noticing? Denelson says, I would definitely not be happy with the results. Still needs a lot of development. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, right? And maybe this comes back to Leo's point, right? About how it's not commercially viable. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to, publish something like this. But, maybe there's still more development to come. ChatGPT was not perfect when it first came out, right? The runner in the white gets super close to the runners in an abnormal manner. Let me see that one. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely come up quickly. Also, of all the runners, the one in the white looks the most unnatural, right? They look like they're running in place. They don't look like they're actually like advancing, right? I mean, all of them kind of look like they're running in place, but I think the one in white in particular just kind of moving their legs in place, right? Yassine says, I see no use for this in any place worth putting the money for. Yeah, okay, Yassine. I can appreciate that. Right now, I'm happy I'm paying the $20 because, I use ChatGPT a lot. But if this was the only service I was paying $20 for, I would definitely be disappointed, right? This would definitely not be worth it. Leo says, absolutely. Leo, I'm assuming you mean that to the development that's still to come, right? I think that's what you meant. If not, let me know. Ash, thank you so much for being a member on my channel. Really appreciate your support. Ash says, I wonder how quantum computing is going to affect AI. Ash, we had a little bit of discussion around that yesterday. And who knows, right? There's still a lot more development that needs to happen on the quantum computing side. I still have a lot of doubts about whether quantum computing will be widespread. And it's just, I don't know, right? Ash, I'll give you the same question I gave to chat yesterday, and I didn't get an answer, and that's okay because that's kind of what I was expecting. When it comes to quantum computing, Give me a list of the non-first world countries that are working on, that have a significant quantum computing research effort going on right now. I'll wait. Dennelson says their shadows look very strange too. Yeah, you're right, Dennelson. I didn't notice that earlier, but you're right. The shadows do look unnatural. You know what's ironic? Is the shadows are missing the hair. As silly as this hair looks, you might as well get it right and get it in the shadows too. But the shadows have no hair, right? Sin, welcome back. Sin says, I use Chat GPT a lot also. Yeah, cool, Sin. So Sin, if you're a Plus member, you should already have access to these tools also. Leo says, you could simplify the prompt and shorten the size, maybe slower the speed in the editing side. You could have a scene for a short or small advertisement. Maybe. Besides that, it's just for entertainment on our side. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious, but I'm not sure if I'd want to publish this, right? Like, I don't know if I want to put my name to anything on this. Yassine says, my question is, why would OpenAI put out a product that's still pretty far from being ready for customers and even charge for it? You're right. Yassine, there's two thoughts that come to mind. One, if we want to be fair to OpenAI, and you guys know that I'm critical of these companies, they're not charging anything extra, right? I was still already paying for ChatGPT Plus, and they've added this to Plus. So from a financial perspective, I haven't lost anything. Now, is it going to stay that way? No, of course not. These sociopaths, they're going to charge for this separately in the future, right? So we can say that. The second reason why you would launch is for data purposes, right? Because they're going to ask you and say, are you happy with this output? And you can click no. Well, that becomes part of their training data, right? They can take that feedback and make it part of their training data, right? So part of them launching is to collect more data for their models, collect some different prompts from different regions of the world, right? That they may not have on their own. So there are strategic reasons for them to launch, even though it's not 100% perfect, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sin, you're basically saying the same thing. I have asked these questions when it comes to apps, and I heard they start making money and fix as they go. Yeah, that's a very common strategy. Maybe not a great strategy for us as consumers, but yeah, that's probably well, one, Sin is correct. Other app makers do that, and two, so I'm saying that OpenAI is doing that here, right? They know it's not ready, but they can collect data along the way to help them. Ash says, definitely not South Africa. We hardly have enough energy to keep the lights on. Okay. So Ash, isn't that kind of scary? Right? Because if quantum computing really is that powerful and then powerful for AI, then if you're a country that doesn't have it, you're going to be at a loss. And if you're a country that does have it, it's going to be a huge competitive advantage, and probably a competitive advantage that they would want to protect, right? So, danger. All right, guys, any other thoughts here? I love the prompt. So credit to Dennelson for the prompt. And maybe to Leo's point, maybe you could edit this and, work some of your, Adobe creative solutions or whatever, and you can use it in some way. But I don't know. Leo says you can also see that it doesn't have depth. Yeah, absolutely. The depth is definitely missing. Right, to Dennelson's point, the runner in the white here, really like closes in that depth super quick, right? I mean, they're back there, and then all of a sudden they're up here, right? So the depth is definitely not great. And then this guy, the people who are just kind of melting through the barriers, right? That's also like a depth issue, right? In the sense that the image doesn't know its own boundaries, right? You know, it's also a little bit of a weird light source, right? I mean, there's a heavy light source over here. I see it reflecting off the barriers over here, but then this guy over here is pretty well lit up, right? So it's kind of like weird light sources that seem a little bit unnatural. Also, you know, I just noticed there's an inconsistency in the numbers. These runners don't have like the chest numbers, but this runner back here does, and the one in the orange does too. So why do some runners have numbers and the others don't? That's a little weird, right? All right, guys, last call for comments. Let me bring up the second one so we can also give the second one fair time. But this one is weird that there's like a black background and it's at the minish line, not the finish line. That's kind of funny. And also, I mean, 480p. Ugh. You know, at least both of these runners have numbers. We could at least say that. All right, last call for thoughts, guys. But overall, I'm going to say that the majority of us kind of have a little bit of a downward view on this. Like they're running in space. Yeah, absolutely, right? It is like a weird location. And also look at that light. That light's just kind of hanging out in the ether, right? Like, where is that light connected to? Denelson says, yeah, the second just have them coming out of the abyss or something. Yeah, you're right. So it'll be good to revisit this in a couple of months after Sora has, you know, gone through a couple of versions. You know, they'll be the next Sora. There'll be a Sora 3, a Sora 4, just like we have with ChatGPT, right? I think the training cycles for this take a little longer than they would for, you know, like a text LLM or, you know, or text generation. So I think that those versions will be slower to come, but they will come, right? All right, guys. So thanks so much for this. Credit to Denelson for the prompt. And Ash, thank you so much for being a member. If you guys want to support me, be a member. It's only $2.99 a month, less than $3 a month on YouTube. Sincerely appreciate that from you. Okay, so closing thoughts. Ash says the shadows are nice. Yeah, the shadows are better in this one, Ash, for sure. Leo says there's also a gender issue on both of them. Oh, geez, you're right, Leo. I didn't even notice that. But you're right. There is some work to be done there on fine-tuning the features of the people. All right, guys. Sunday, 1500 GMT. We continue our tutorial, or come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I also stream. So thank you so much. Lots of craziness happening in our world, especially if you live in New Jersey. So, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you guys next time.